So who is Swine and Bovine Barbecue? As I start in all my videos, my name is Drew Wilkins. I live in Dallas, Texas, by way of Arkansas. Was born and raised in Northwest Arkansas. Spent my first 25 years of my life there. Grew up in Springdale. Went to college at the University of Arkansas. And after college, I moved to Chicago, where I spent 10 years. Got a beautiful wife named Holly, who's a little camera shy. And then this little guy is Max. He's our mini golden doodle. 5 years old. Got him in Chicago. December. Not a great time to train a puppy in Chicago. He's turned out to be a great little dog. You may have seen him wandering around in some of the videos in the background. Professionally, started out as a commodities broker, did that for almost 7 years, and then moved into IT sales where I've been for the last, I don't know how many years now. That's what I do professionally. My day-to-day, what pays for these smokers behind me, as well as all the meat I cook. Where did my love for barbecue begin? It really started with my dad and my parents, really. My mom would grill outside, and my dad would always cook and smoke meats on the weekend. He had an old Brinkman, not really an offset, kind of a cabinet style smoker, but burned real wood. He's since graduated to a Big Green Egg and continues to produce fantastic barbecue on it. But that's really where my love for cooking outside began. Family, Saturdays, smoking some ribs, smoking chicken, really just gathering with friends and family and cooking barbecue. And if you grew up that way, it's hard not to love it. I wasn't drinking beers at a young age, but now, once I hit the legal age, started drinking some beers with it as well, and really just enjoyed the whole facet of being outside, cooking, being with friends and family. That's really where my love of barbecue started. But also my brother got really big into barbecue as well. He is a Big Green Egg aficionado as well, and he got heavily into it and would make brisket, ribs, all the good stuff we love to eat. So post-college, I moved to Chicago, lived in a high-rise, not much room for a smoker. I had a really good friend in Chicago, still one of my best friends to this day, Taylor Williams, and he got a Big Green Egg. And we cooked ribs as often as we could. That's one of the reasons we're cooking baby backs today, is that's how we cooked them in Chicago. As often as we could, we were firing up that egg, making ribs, having friends come over. But in Chicago, coincidentally enough, where my love of barbecue really blossomed. I was constantly watching YouTube videos. Malcolm Reed, Barbecue with Franklin, Matt Pittman, really just anything that I could to get interested in barbecue. I would watch it. Mad Scientist, Jeremy Yoder, who I've gotten to cook with now, was a big influence on me as well. My wife at one point in time would get a little frustrated with me because I'd kind of mope around a little bit because I was watching all these videos, but outside of going to my buddy Taylor's house, I didn't really have an avenue to cook the barbecue. So when it came time to move from Chicago to Dallas, I started researching smokers heavily. At first, I was all on the pellet cooker train. Was looking at the Yoder YS640. It's a fantastic cooker. But then, reading the Franklin's book, he's talking about building your own smoker, the benefits of offset cooking. It really sparked my interest in it. But what really took off my love for Texas barbecue was the first time I visited Dallas with my wife. I laid it out cut and dry. It's like, as soon as we land, we're going to get some barbecue. And we went to a place locally called Pecan Lodge. And most Texas barbecue places, if you haven't been to one, they offer a Texas Trinity platter. It's brisket, spare ribs, and sausage. So it's like, what better way to introduce myself to Texas barbecue other than by going with the Texas Trinity? So I ordered that, and you hear people say that one bite of barbecue that got them hooked. Well, it was a bite of brisket from Pecan Lodge. It was unreal. I'd never had anything like it. Arkansas at the time, brisket was an afterthought. You maybe got a chopped beef sandwich, if that. It was all pork. Pulled pork, ribs, chicken, and sides, and sauce. And Pecan Lodge completely changed my outlook on it. I knew I had to cook barbecue the Texas style, and that meant getting an offset smoker. So I searched around, put a couple of feelers out there, and then I think it was actually Wright's Barbecue that had done a podcast or had mentioned it somewhere along the way for a guy named Chud's Barbecue, and he was building pits. So there was an old Tales from the Pits podcast episode that I listened to on a road trip, and they interviewed Brad, or Chud's Barbecue, and he was talking about his offset smokers. I DM'd him instantly on Instagram, and within a couple of hours, I had laid down my deposit to get a Chud pit, which is what you see over my right shoulder here. All this talking's got me a little distracted. We need to wrap our ribs, so let's go ahead and do that now. So fast forward, we get to Texas. Literally one of the first things I do is drive down, pick up this smoker, and boom, I'm hooked. Watching YouTube videos, reading Franklin's book over and over again, trying to learn how to cook barbecue, and it's been a fantastic ride ever since. And one of the things I really do love about barbecue is the communal aspect of it. I've gotten to know Brad really well, consider him a friend now. Evan Leroy, got to cook with him at Leroy and Lewis at Windy City Smokeout last year. I'm going back with him this year, so this video is airing prior to Windy City Smokeout. So if you're there, I'll be cooking with Leroy and Lewis again this year. Make sure and stop by our booth, say hi. My online barbecue presence really started with an Instagram. Just posting some pictures of my cooks. That's where Swine and Bovine started, because I didn't want to flood my personal feed with nothing but cooking pics, right? That's one of the gripes people had about Instagram when it first came out. I was like, yeah, if I wanted to know what you had for dinner, I would call you. Ended up moving it away from my personal, starting Swine and Bovine, just posting pictures. Then a couple of years ago, started adding some videos and doing the short form chop cut sequences, and really was enjoying that, and that's where I was gonna leave it. But I took the Leroy and Lewis New School Barbecue University class in, what was it? It was March of 2022. And that was a fantastic experience. If you ever get the opportunity to sign up for it, please do it. It was incredible. I'm still in communication with a ton of the people that I met during that class. So not only do you learn a bunch, but you just grow your network within the barbecue community and meet a bunch of people. So it's highly worth your time. Definitely recommend checking that out, because it has paid off for me tenfold. It's an incredible experience. But I was talking to Brad, and he mentioned, I don't know what your plans are for Swine and Bovine or what you're doing, but I do think like a YouTube would be good. And I was like, well, I feel like I'd be regurgitating what you said, or what Matt Pittman has said, or what Aaron Franklin has said, or what Malcolm Reed has said from How to Barbecue Right. And it just kind of left it at that. Didn't really think much beyond it. Instagram was having fun with it. My account's never really taken off from a follower perspective, but it's been fun. I feel like I've got a good little community over there, and it was engaged and active with my followers, so didn't see much point in doing beyond that, because it was my way of telling my story. Then fast forward, Windy City Smokeout last year, which is 2022, was working. Brad brought it up again, like, you should start a YouTube. And the whole thing was, hey, I don't know, feel like I'm gonna be kind of talking about the same things you said. And then Mighty Joe Yim, or Joe Yim / Noxab Barbecue, as a lot of folks know him, was talking to both of them, and they said, still do it. I mean, you could make the exact same cook video as me, but it'll be completely different. You're coming from a different perspective. I'm a software sales guy. I don't have a background in cooking barbecue. There's a lot of you just like me going to YouTube trying to figure out how to cook stuff. There's an avenue for folks like myself, or you watching it if you have an interest in starting your own YouTube channel, to go out and create and say things in your own way. Everybody has a different path as far as how they cook things. For me, I've learned through trial and error. These past 3.5 years that I've been cooking barbecue, I've cooked a ton, and I've learned a lot. So I took the message that Brad and Joe and others had said to me, it's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go ahead and start a YouTube channel. It's a way for me to get a creative outlet outside of work. It'll be fun. We'll see how it goes, see how it takes off, see if there's any even interest in what I have to say out there. And it's been an awesome ride. So that's my journey up to this point. Grew up in Arkansas, pork guy, love barbecue, really inherited the passion for cooking outside from my parents, from my brother when he started cooking barbecue as well. Translated that to YouTube becoming a thing in Chicago, really starting to watch people. My buddy got a big green egg, and we used and abused that thing, cooking some baby backs. And finally moved down to Texas, got my own smokers, and it's literally been full steam ahead ever since. So really the purpose of Swine and Bovine is to let people know that you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to work at a top 50 Texas monthly barbecue joint to turn out fantastic food for your families. Now, I certainly lean on the people that do work at Texas monthly top 50 joints, or have industry experience, to try and get better. I'm constantly watching Joe Yim. I'm constantly watching Chud's Barbecue, Matt Pittman, Malcolm Reed, Jeremy Yoder, tons and tons of valuable YouTube channels out there that I still rely on to get information or to develop new tips, techniques, and then combine that with my own trial and error. It's really, really what I love to do. So what's next for Swine and Bovine Barbecue? As you can see, if it's not completely blown out by the sunlight behind me, we've got a new background. Moved to a new house. That's why there was no video last week. I apologize. Moving was hectic. We've had people in and out as we've had some work done to the house. But we have a lot of cool things in store. Might see some merch coming soon. Got hats as well. I've got a really awkward shaped head, so not a huge fan of how forward-facing hats look on me, but you might see some of this stuff coming soon. The red tint that you see on the ribs we're cooking, working on some rubs. So ideally we'll be releasing some rubs in the future, probably distant future, and really gonna try and do some cool things around this new house that'll help make for better videos. I've got a he shed over there that I would love to turn into a whiskey tasting, live streaming barbecue den. But really just have a lot of cool things in store. If you wanna buy some of this merchandise or rubs when it comes out, great. If not, really appreciate the support and just watching the videos. That's what we have planned. Really excited for what's ahead for Swine and Bovine Barbecue. It's a little bit about who I am, my background, that way you can get to know me better and hopefully continue to come along for the ride. Watch as I grow in my barbecue journey, grow along with me. I hope you enjoy the rib cook as we've gone through it. So now it's time to taste them. Let's see how we did. And our ribs are done. I know we didn't talk much about this cook, but it couldn't have been easier. Salt, pepper, a little bit of that red rub I was talking about for the things to come. Hopefully one day I'll have my own rub. Cooked them till they hit about 180 internal. Wrapped them with a little bit of Finch's barbecue sauce, which if you're local to Dallas, you can get at Central Market. They might have it at other places throughout Texas as well, I'm not sure. Combined with a little Worcestershire and apple cider vinegar to thin it out. Wrapped them up, cooked till tender. These were good to go, about 203, 204. Let them rest till they hit 140, and here we are. Ribs don't have to be hard. They can be incredibly easy, just like today. But the point of today's video was not necessarily on how to cook ribs. It was more to give you a little insight into who I am, how I got to this point, why I like cooking barbecue, my history with barbecue, and where we are today, and a little bit about, hopefully, what's to come. We're in the infancy of Swine and Bovine Barbecue. Got a lot of growth to go. Slow but steady has been the race. Hopefully we get a little bit of that bell curve or hockey stick that gets us a little bit more viewership and a little bit more interaction. With that said, let's dig into these ribs, see how we did. These, I don't know if you can see, but they are incredibly juicy. You'll have to bear with me. I'm figuring out the lighting at the new spot. The ribs look like they might be lit. I'm not sure if my face is. Go up and down here. Ribs look phenomenal. Cheers. Clean bone, could not have been better. Super simple, full of flavor, nice, savory, a little bit of sweetness from the barbecue sauce, but not much. These are really, really good. To those of you that have been watching for a while, I really, really appreciate it. For those of you that are new, please continue to watch. I'm having a lot of fun making these videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. If you have any ideas on what you want to see me cook next, leave it in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.